you just give me the cue. Hey guys, we are here live with Big Buck Registry. So excited to have these guys on the line. We got Jay Scott and Dusty Phillips here. We just did a little bit of an introduction podcast with Jay. Dusty's just joining us. He's had an eventful day today, hauling hay and doing all things fun in the sun. How's it going, guys?
It's going well. How are you, Laura?
I am doing fantastic. Before I get too far ahead of myself, though, I'm going to go and share this on my personal page, too. That way people can link up to us. So that way, got things going. I am so excited to have you guys on. We're going to talk about some fun things podcasting. And we get to talk a little bit about Dusty.
I'm careful right now. Careful what you ask for, Laura.
I always tend to bite myself in the foot, but that's okay. I'll take it. So
pretty cool being on somebody else's live feed.
I know.
What's up? Unwinnow podcast.
So relaxing. We can just hang out and chill. And
it's like we're not responsible tonight. It's
not responsible tonight. We can do whatever we want.
Right.
It's very true. You know what? It seems that it's all kicked in and over to me, so I like having the handles on this so that I can really push you guys onto my listeners too. Not necessarily push you guys, but get my people to know you for those women who don't know you. So we talked a little bit about Jay and Jay's background and all the funness that happened with him. So Dusty, I want to start off with you first and have you kind of tell us a little bit about your background and things that you did as a kid to lead into the hunting realm and where you are now.
I think I raised heck and ate cornbread. That's what I done. Growing up, I was around hunting my whole life. My grandfather, before he passed away, introduced me to the woods, and it's just one of the things where it just naturally, when you got it, you got it. When you don't, you don't. And I had it. I guess I see why people get an addiction, because I'm addicted to the outdoors and being in the woods and educating other hunters and the youth. It's just, I've been real fortunate and real blessed to be able to kill some great bucks here in Ohio. Obviously I started out shooting small. My first deer was a basket rack 11 point. I shot a doe before that, but my first buck was a basket rack 11 point, and that once that happened, I wanted more. I wanted bigger, better, and educate myself further into the whitetails, and that's where it all really launched. Also, when I killed my first buck, and growing up around hunting, it just kind of gets in your blood, and it's the same way with farming. I mean, I was out tonight, just getting home, been in the hayfield, hauling hay wagons and getting things ready. We're going to try to bale some hay tomorrow evening. Just pretty early here in Ohio this year, but once it gets in your blood and you get to the woods and you get start hunting, and you learn that there's talent to it. I'm by far a pro hunter, but I've taken things to the next level and been, like I said, really blessed, real fortunate, and from killing the 11 point to where I'm at today, it's just been amazing. And I've got all my deer, some in the house, some in the garage, and Jay's been here and seen some of the deer that I've started out with by killing, and where it led me to the day. And man, my biggest typicals 174 and 7/8. The mainframe 10 point with a 15 and 3/4 inch spread. It's got 14-inch G2s and 3s. Watch the deer, pretty much raise the deer. It's tough to kill them after you've watched them go from being a little spike buck into a 4 point, and then a 6 point, and then come mature to an 8 point, and the next thing you know, he's getting out to the G4s and just becoming a great buck. And I watched him grow up. Obviously I'm in the crops and nutrition, and so now I've turned it into, everybody can say, oh, you feed deer and stuff, and I say, well, in reality, you're a deer farmer. If you want to grow bigger bucks, you want to make your herd healthier, you've got to really put some effort into that. And from being in a farming background, a deer is no different than a beef in a sense. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, definitely. And I definitely would agree with it.
But once you start putting the nutrition that a beef needs, it can gain 3 to 5 pounds a day. And deer's is kind of in the same sense, but as far as poundage, they don't put on the pounds because they're so active and they travel and they're athletic in a sense. Where you see the deer gain from is not only healthier looking coats and better looking fawns, and it's amazing what that does. But antler growth is excess nutrition, and that's something that if you don't focus on getting them the right mineral and the right nutrition, that they will not grow the antlers like they have capabilities of.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
think that, that means that Jay needs to work on getting some farmland up there in New Hampshire. He's
yeah,
talking
just
about trying to join the 200-pound club.
we worked on that when I was out there hunting New Hampshire. I talked to Jay about, hey, let's maybe you can try to help your herd make it through the winter and up your deer in your area.
Right.
And he's went from seeing 2 to 4 deer to now he's got 6 or 8 deer in his area that they're regularly eating corn and they're staying healthy. And it's like anything else though, it's something that if you get involved with feeding deer, and you're actually deer farming, and I'm gonna put it that way because that's exactly what it is. There's beef farmers and there's deer farmers, and it's a whole lot alike. But if you get into feeding deer, you can't just feed them when it's cold out 6 or 8 bags of corn and then walk away. You cannot do that. That'll kill your herd. Once their digestive system goes into the winter, they can really make it on the minimal. Deer has capability to cycle their digestive system and slow it down so that they're not burning calories and just going through food. But when you start feeding deer, you're keeping them in that late fall stomach system. And if you're going to feed them starting out in September, October, November, you need to continue that till the following weather breaks, till the next year spring. If you don't, then you're taking a chance that you leave a deer December 12th with going the last 3 months of pounding on corn or mineral or whatever you're putting out, and then you just leave them with nothing. Then they're going to starve to death because their stomach's trying to cycle and get back onto a browsing, very minimal nutrition pattern, and it's cold out already. You leave them deer hanging December 12th or 30th or whenever you quit feeding, you leave your herd in a situation where starvation is going to take effect and that cold weather is going to really it's going to get at them, and they're good chance they're going to not make it through the winter. But good practice is if you start feeding in October, September, whenever you decide that you're going to start feeding deer, you need to carry it through to the following spring till the grass turns green. And at least they can move on to a browse off the ground, or leaves will start coming on, and they can start filling their stomach with what comes from the nature. But just something that I always got into. Farming, something I enjoy, and seeing what you can make out of a deer if you give him the proper nutrition, that really sparks my interest, and it makes me thrive to get out there. And you know, I'm not into killing monster bucks every year, but if I can up my odds of at least seeing good bucks and seeing really nice healthy deer, I really enjoy that, and it's something that I take pride in. And that's where I'm at today as far as whitetail. I enjoy killing them and eating them, no different than anybody else. But I really thrive off seeing healthy fawns, healthy does, and big, nice, heavy antlered, mature whitetails.
That's awesome. That you have the capability of accessing all of that just through learned and from, you know, having a farm and understanding what needs to happen with that. That's super cool. Love it.
Yeah,
I love it all.
it's super interesting. We could go into a lot of stuff there. Not only is nutrition important, housing. You got to house deer. If you're in an area that's a wide open field, couple fence rows, it's tough to hold nice mature deer in your area. Somewhere you can start there is if you got acreage, you could ask the farmer, hey, can I pay you for 5 acres of crops? Let me just, pay you over the year or give you a check right now and spend $1,000 and keep the corn standing there in the field so that the deer's got something to make it on, and then they start having, say you got a neighboring place that's got woods and you got the field. Well, the neighboring place is going to house them, but they got to eat. So they're going to come see you too. So you got to look at all options. I've killed one of my biggest bucks come off of 7 acres. And it didn't start out that way. It didn't start out as a really good place. So I went and hinge cut some trees. And if you don't know what hinge cutting trees are, you need to research that. Making buck beds where these deer will have some place to lay down. And you can always lay these trees down, hinge cut them right in a fence row. I mean, it works either way, either in the woods, a fence row along just a property line. Give them that just that little space that they can call home, and they'll start making a home base now. Your place. They need food, they need a bed, and they need something to drink. If you can provide all three of them, you're going to up your odds by 60-70% of being able to shoot a nice big mature whitetail.
Jeez, I'm sure that all holds true for muleys too. So now I'm like, okay,
Absolutely.
where can I go to get me some land to go and shoot me a good muley?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, if baiting is what they call it, if growing deer is legal and it's something that you can put the time into and then build the habitat to house the deer. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. You start going from, man, I never seen any bucks over here or any deer period. You start seeing 10 to 15 deer in one night, and it's like, wow, how this all happened. But it's really based on how far do you want to go with it? How much time, money, blood, sweat, and tears do you want to put into whitetail hunting? And if you got the effort and you got a little bit of time to research and make some phone calls, your local co-op will help you out as far as if you're in the food plots. We called Doug Castrava, Horny Buck Seed Company, if you need food plot information, and them guys are willing to talk to you. They're willing to help you out, and they're willing to give you the knowledge to create a habitat for great deer.
nice. So Jay, how have you felt that, once you've accessed some of these tips that Dusty's given you, now you're seeing more deer, how do you feel like it's changed for you throughout some of the hunts that you've done?
Yeah, I think it's really brought some young deer in, and I've watched them grow up over the last several years, and where they're not necessarily bedding where I'm seeing the deer, that's part of what we talked about in the audio interview. Is I'm trying to figure out where these few core bucks are living, and now they're older. Now they're getting into their 5-year-old, 4.5-year-olds. I want to learn where they are, so I've got to backtrack where they come from. That's the next piece of this puzzle. So now I've been able to figure out through Dusty a way to get more deer in front of my areas and my cameras at certain times, but I still haven't put the last piece of the puzzle together. Is where am I going to kill this deer? Because I'm not quite sure where they live or bed specifically relative to where they're feeding. So that's the last piece of the puzzle.
I'm excited to see what the deer come to be for you guys this next year and to see exactly how it all lays out, whether they come from these different plots that you guys have put down or if they're ones that you venture out a little bit. So I'm really excited to see what happens if you get something from the 200-pound club this year, or if Dusty gets high point wide rack. That'd be awesome. But I want to ask you guys one thing about the podcasting is, how did you guys decide that podcasting was what you wanted to do and where you wanted to be?
You want me to handle this one, Dusty?
Sure, I'll fill in the blanks. Go ahead.
Right. So the podcast thing, like I didn't want to be on television. That wasn't something that was particularly attractive to me. It seemed like it was going to take a lot of work. I'm getting a little audio feedback. A lot of work to get some kind of television show, and it seemed like it was more or less saturated, and I didn't think that's really where we wanted to go with that. So I always wanted to have a radio show of some sort for a very long time. In fact, I had bought equipment back, I think it was 2004, 2005 to try to do something, and could never figure out the audio equipment. It wasn't quite as advanced as it was now. And you pass through, I don't know, about 7 years, and I figured out how to use Skype. I figured out how to use a mixer board, figure out what kind of, through different podcast videos, I was able to figure out how to use microphones and put it all together, use a digital audio recorder. So I didn't have to go to a studio to actually make this radio show. I could do it in the comfort of my own home. I could build a little studio in my house and give it a shot without being into it for too much money. So I did. And initially I didn't know what I was going to talk about. So I figured I'd talk about the one thing I kind of enjoyed a lot. So it was just, I was going to talk about deer hunting. And then but I think the Facebook, major feedback.
I love the echo. It sounds so cool though on your side.
So I started the Facebook page first, but I learned about podcasting through the iPhone and audiobooks, and it just was and I realized that, hey, I can do that now. All those things I always wanted to do, now there's a platform for it. I'm going to do it. So that's how cool. That started. Yeah, and then Dusty was one of my very first interviews ever on the show.
He said, "Hey, good buddy, you want to join me on a podcast?" And I said, "I have no clue what a podcast is."
I don't know what it is, but you made it sound so good. I'm in.
So yeah, that's the way it happened. It's crazy, but
that's right.
Today, I think Saturday's 200 shows later. Look at us, we're going strong.
I'm excited for your 200 release. It'll be, to me, it's huge because I haven't even hit 100 yet. So, hitting that first milestone of 50 was like, yeah, gung ho, let's do this. We got it. Here we go. And then I hopped on with you guys and I was like, wow, these are some people to really look up to into the podcasting realm because they've made it this far and they've done so much. So, kind of following things that you guys have done. Hey, it shouldn't. Like, you guys should think that that's awesome. Don't be laughing. But
it's been a journey.
At the same time, it's crazy to think about. Like, I guarantee you, once I hit episode 200, I'm going to get phone calls from both of you being like, you did it! You hit 200! But it's going to be huge. Like, I can't wait for that moment to hit. Like, it's going to be super exciting.
We're throwing you a party, Laura. We're going to drive out to Utah. We're going to do it up right.
Please do. I know. We need to. And we'll throw an elk hunt in it for you, too.
I shared it on the Big Buck Registry, Jay, so hopefully we'll get some people to join in with us and hang out.
Yep.
Nice.
We got some people finally coming on. How's it going, guys? Thanks for tuning over. Did you like that? Tuning over. That was a good one.
Tuning over. Like you just made up some new words.
A
new phrase.
Yeah.
Jay and myself.
That's what happens when you're live.
On the Hunting Widow podcast. We're live.
Oh, right?
Oh, it's so different though. It's like wow, we're not on the Big Buck Registry. We're not in control of this one.
We're a guest on somebody else's show.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've ever been a guest on somebody else's show in tandem. Together. I've been a guest on other people's shows individually, but not in tandem.
I've been asked to be on a lot of people's shows, but really haven't taken advantage of it. I don't know why. It just seems like when they ask, it's always bad timing or something, But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, you're a pretty busy person, though, Dusty.
Right now,
anytime I've ever been messaging you, it's like, oh, hey, I'm on the tractor. Sorry for the short answers.
Welcome to my life.
I'm baling hay. I'm like, why are you messaging me if you're baling hay? Like, I couldn't.
Right. Dusty, we have a show in 20 minutes. Where are you? I'm on the tractor.
It happens. It happens a lot, but summer's busy. Spring and fall super busy. It's still turkey season here in Ohio, so I'm still got that on my mind, and real early hay season this year, which is really good. It's working out great, but supposed to rain Thursday, so I've got a lot to get knocked out before Thursday.
If anybody that's tuning in has any questions or anything like that, feel free to drop them in those comments. We're going to answer anything that we can, everything that we can in the time frame that we're here. Because this is fun for me to be able to understand like your side of things as well as mine. I like what Sarah Jane says. I need a podcast called Farming Widow.
That's
the Farming Widow podcast.
The Farming Widow podcast. Well said, Sarah. I like that.
I will help you with that. I'll hook you up. You and I will have a chat.
Yeah, she's got a full studio right here at her house that she can jump right into and get after it.
Yeah. You're never there to use it, so that'd be perfect.
Yeah. I'm going to be busy Wednesday night, too, this week.
Oh, yeah?
So tell me a little bit about both of you in space. Like, I want to know a little bit about where you guys actually record from, because I've jumped places where I actually have my equipment. I think this is the third place I've had it in 18 months. So, oh, and hi, Narissa. A quick little shout out there. She says, "What's up, guys?"
Oh, yeah, girls with guns, I'm guessing. Yeah, right?
Is that the Narissa? From Girls
Narissa
with Guns?
Harmon.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Very nice. It's our friends.
Love her. Love her.
Aren't they great?
Yes.
Yeah, you was asking about, did you say where do we record at? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, so when we were off the air after the podcast that I did with you guys, you had said that Jay said that your podcasting space is in a shed that you built at your house. Is that correct?
I built
a little separate space.
Well, I'm in the basement. I built a 7x7 recording studio. It's my own little personal space. I've got a nice desk here, and obviously some deer heads on the wall, and I got a couple more to this way, a couple deer heads. But yeah, I'm in a 7x7. I've got a window that looks out to the basement. Lockable door if I need to lock the door. I got 3 kids, so it's just my own little studio. That's where I record. I started out crazy ass, but I started out in a sunroom upstairs in our home. We got like this little sun patio area. It's nice and closed and weather tight, but there was a sun bed out there in the sunroom. So I set up on that, and that's how it all got started. And then we got doing more and more shows, and next thing you know, he's double booking us. So I was sitting on this sun bed for like 3 hours trying to record a show, and I'm like, this ain't working no more. So I go buy some lumber, and that's what I did. I mean, I've got a full blown studio right here in my basement.
That is awesome. I wish that I had that at my house. It wouldn't really work for me to try and make that happen. As of right now, I'm in a rundown house that was built in 1890. So it's an old home. But
it's nice. Like I get off the tractor, I come in, and I'm in my studio right here, and I get sandwich and boiled eggs. It's all right here.
Yes.
I said, you're probably hungry.
Oh, man.
That looks so good. I haven't had dinner yet.
Chicken salad sandwich, fresh farm eggs.
Mug root beer. That's cream soda. That's where I'm at right now.
Gotcha.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I'm like, come on, live feed. This sandwich is burning my nose up over here.
Send a little text message to your wife being like, hey, can you bring me something downstairs while I'm recording?
Yeah, and turn the...
Hey,
honey, can you turn off the furnace? That happens a lot. Because Dusty's down in the basement next to the furnace.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Appreciate it, Jay.
See, this is our opportunity to cut up on each other because we don't do it on our show enough because we're always talking to somebody else.
You're right. Mike Bierman says, Mike Mike Bierman says, I'm starting my own podcast called The Bearded Warriors.
That is awesome to me. I love it. Please do. Please. I love it.
Mike's the best.
Yeah, he's a riot. That's
Bearded Warrior.
Bearded Warriors.
Warriors. Yeah. Very nice.
Scott Thomas wants some cold pizza.
Yeah, right on. What's happening, Scott? But yeah, it's just it's amazing where podcasting's led us. You know, I mean, it's really amazing connections and all the people that we've met, and it really is. It's just like, man, we always said, Jay, when we first met, we said we want to go to a couple of these big shows and talk to some people and, you know, celebrity hunters. And now you're walking through a place and people holler your name out and want you to stop and come talk to them. And that right there, that means a lot to us, you know.
Well, I'm surprised we didn't run into each other at SHOT Show. I'm still in shock about that a little bit. But at the same time, it was huge.
Yeah, Shot's a big place, and me and Jay, we never stopped. Like we had appointment after appointment, and we was meeting up with people that we knew and that wanted to talk with us. And then we spent quite a bit of time at the Real Tree booth and did some recording over there and some live feeds, and we was just all over. You know, we talked to everybody that we needed to talk to. We went and seen because we hadn't been to ATA that year. So we didn't see nobody at ATA, but it was cool. It was a great experience, and we'll go back to SHOT. That was a good time.
I bet a lot of people have been asking me if we're going to go to ATA this year or this next year. So I think we'll probably alternate it every other year, is kind of what we discussed. Not that I think we should go back to SHOT. I thought SHOT was fantastic, but that we'd alternate the ATA appearance.
Right, for sure.
No way. Yeah. Do it all.
Do it all every year.
Go all in. That's my year. This is my next year, is ATA and SHOT. Yeah. And then on top of that is the local shows. So I'm like, trying to fit in that. And I'm hitting Sheep Show this year. Let's see, what else am I hitting? The one in Reno. And then I really want to get out to the National Wild Turkey Federation convention. Yeah. That one would be awesome to hit. Have you guys ever attended?
No, I have not.
No, not yet. But it's we have a plan.
Ooh. We need to have a party there when it all comes down and comes together.
My wife says before Dusty met Jay, all I had to worry about was deer season. Now it's all about the turkey.
That's true. I think I did set that bug.
Yeah, I enjoy turkey hunting a lot. I mean, I almost hang deer turkey hunting. It's that fun. Man, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm bummed out that I don't get to go. I'm not going to New Hampshire this year, but just the way the cards fell, you know.
Well, you could always shoot one there and then send it off to me, because that'd be awesome. I've been renovating a home. I haven't been able to get out this year at all.
I heard the black flies are great out there, Jay.
Well, they were up until the snow flew 2 days ago. We had about 2 inches, 3 inches in some elevations of plowable snow in New Hampshire. I don't remember it ever snowing this late. I looked it up. Actually, the latest snowfall was in 1967, and it was in May 26, 1967. So we're pretty darn close to the latest snowfall ever in New Hampshire.
Wow.
So yeah,
we're supposed to have snow here on Wednesday.
No kidding.
Wow.
We got
Dusty's cutting grass already in Ohio.
We're baling hay in Ohio.
You're baling hay.
Jeez.
Yes, Mike.
Lucky you.
Mike Bierman said, "We're going Friday, brothers. Screw them black flies." Laugh out loud. They're bad. I don't know if you've ever been around them, Laura, but it's unbelievable. You can get like 4,000 of them up your nostril in about 3 minutes, really.
So are they like big, like horse flies?
No, they're just like a regular fly. They're a little smaller than a regular fly, but man, there's millions of them.
You know the fruit flies that you get on a bowl of fruit sometimes? They're about twice the size of those.
And they bite.
And they bite.
Ugh,
I
not my friends.
I swear to you, I had a black fly bite for like a month after I got back from New Hampshire.
Jeez.
And the problem with the black flies is the biting, obviously, but there's so many of them, and they like to hang around your face. You ever see somebody start hacking and gagging after they suck in a bug? It's almost inevitable that if you've never been around them, the person that comes to New Hampshire to experience New Hampshire hunting is going to suck down a black fly, and then they'll be off in the corner, and you won't hear from them for about 5 minutes because they'll be hacking up the bug.
That's the truth. That's the
That
truth.
is the truth.
Scott Thomas says it's extra protein.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that's what we all need a little bit more in our systems these days.
For sure. But
So
yeah.
guys, I have loved to have you on today, and this has been so much fun for me to be able to be the lead of it all, and to kind of pick your guys' brains a little. But the other fun part about this is that not only do you guys do rapid fire, I do rapid fire, and I have 10 questions here, and they are different from last time, and I'm really excited to see what your answers are. So, are you guys ready for this?
Before we start this, there was one question. Let's see. Somebody asked about the thermocell and black flies.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Brad Chrisman. They do. The thermocells do help the black flies. Not nearly as effective as they are on the mosquitoes, but yes, yeah, they do help.
That's good to know. I hate mosquitoes so bad. I was just outside the other day and in my backyard and got bit by like 4 of them. Not my cup of tea. So, ooh, yay thermocells. Thank you for those.
Yeah.
I feel like I need one on me all year round, living next to a canal. All right, guys, are you ready?
Rapid fire. I don't know. My mic's cutting out here. There might be have a connection problem.
Hey, whatever, Dusty. You're full of crap. All right, so the first one is one that you guys ask as well. Biggest pet peeve.
Do you want me to start?
I'll start. I don't care.
Okay. Go ahead.
People that can't seem to comprehend to drive around the piece of farm equipment when they pull over a little bit. I mean, like they'll ride behind you for like 18 miles and then pass you in a curve. But that 18-mile straightaway, they want to just ride back there. So as soon as you go into a curve, they feel like they can pass you. Oh, it drives me nuts. That's got to be it.
That's funny. Mine is doing things twice when they only needed to be done once. Like if there's anything, like and that applies to all kinds of stuff. Usually it has to do with producing the podcast. Like usually it's getting it. Like sometimes the computer, it didn't save in Libsyn, and I've just typed out the entire show notes for the day, and it didn't save because who knows why. That's the stuff that drives me through the roof.
I know the pain.
I love calling you when
the pain.
at that boiling point too. It seems like.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, next question. What is something you will never get tired of, excluding hunting?
Man, these are loaded, dude.
These are loaded. Anything. Spending time with my kids. That's kind of an obvious, easy one.
You took that away from me, dude. Now I'm like out there like, man.
That's right. I just stole your thunder, brother.
As far as the family time and raising farm animals, both combined. If I can take my girls down to where our cows are and they can enjoy that with me, I'll never get tired of that. And I'll have cows from here on if they'll be there, enjoy them with me.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. I feel like that's kind of a cop-out, but I'll take it. Family's always there. Favorite comfort food?
I'd say coming from New England, lobster.
Yum.
Lobster with a little bit of butter.
I'm saying like New York strip, garlic butter, seasoned just right. Absolutely.
I haven't had dinner yet, and so I'm feeling really hungry right now.
Just think if you had a sandwich right here at the bottom of your nose. Think about that.
You know what?
Gotta be brutal.
I've eaten on podcasts before. Go for it. Bite
no way. Absolutely not.
Then we get to see how you eat if you chew with your mouth open. That's actually one of the biggest pet peeves that I found amongst people is people who chew with their mouth open.
Oh, yeah? Huh.
And listening to other people chew.
My wife has that. Drives her nuts when she hears me chewing. Or my kids or anybody. If she can hear it, and it's weird, she can hear it from like across the room and she goes mental. She hates that.
I'm glad Christy ain't on here right now.
She might be watching. Sometimes she checks the feed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one though. She has to be eating at the same time, or she can hear me eat or the kids eat. So if you're eating solo, you're done.
All right, next question. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Alaska. You're not beating me that one, Jay. I'm going to Alaska for real. It's nature paradise, wilderness, habitat. Right. Be awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one. Dang it. Close second. I really do like living where I live just because of the seasonal changes that we go through. I do enjoy, as much as I hate the dead of winter, I do enjoy winter and seeing the spring come up and the turkey hunting and the summer months I can almost do without, to be honest. I just don't like the deep humidity that New England brings. And I don't know if you ever realize it, but New England actually has some of the highest humidity points in the country. And that's when that it just starts dripping off you in the middle of the summer. You can just be walking around. So other than summer, I kind of like where I live. I could probably go a little further north, maybe up into New Brunswick or something like that.
I could not hit Alaska and live there full time. Too much light, too much dark. I think it would be really hard to have that much light brewing all day, 22 hours, and then a little bit of dusk. And then however many hours it is of night. Just going through, I think that would be a really big struggle for me.
You could make hay 24/7 there.
In the summertime, yeah, you could.
Dusty seeing dollar signs.
Just work you to the bone. If you were to turn into your partner for a day, what would you do?
Partner, as far as podcast partner, or what do you mean there?
Your wife, partner or spouse, significant other.
Gee whiz.
So I get to become them for a day?
Yes. Or if you want to do it vice versa, where Jay, you become Dusty, and Dusty, you become Jay. What would you do for the day?
I think if I were to become my wife, she's a chef, so I'd probably make something really good and eat it all by myself. And if I were to become Dusty, I'd love to go play with Dusty's big farm equipment and excavators and all the big equipment he gets to drive. I think that'd be a blast.
Man, that's tough. I tell you, I couldn't be my wife. I couldn't fill them shoes. There's no way I could fill my wife's shoes. She does a lot. If I was Jay, I would drive around in his Jeep to the longest trails in New Hampshire I could find. If I was Jay, like there are so many awesome trails there that you can take a Jeep on. I'd just be gone.
Just go Jeeping all day.
Go Jeeping all day long. All day. I'd be gone. See ya.
That's true.
Kadeja,
they're
I
fun.
think I said that name right. Kadeja commented and said, how about Australia in their rural areas? I think that'd be a fun place to live too.
Yeah, I could do that.
They have Santa Claus in a bathing suit, so I think I'd like to try that out for a year.
Y'all see me in a mankini, you would throw rocks at Santa. I'm only kidding.
Oh, whatever. There was some truth behind that. All right. Next question. You're a superhero. What's your name, power, and outfit?
That's a good one. This might take a while, Laura. That's
I'm in.
We can come back to it at the end. You guys can think on it for a minute.
Like a camo cape, camo mankini, and they call me Philberg.
So what would your power be?
Long distance shooting.
That's a good one. I'd have like scope eyes. Like I'd have like 3x9s built in. I could see
have
forever.
like 10x42s.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I'd have like Swarovski crystals in my eyes.
Absolutely. Clear as you can get.
Clear as you can get forever. From side to side.
I feel like a camo tent for my mankini. I'm a big guy, so I got to call the tent maker.
Oh, heavens.
I feel like I need like a wrestler, some kind of wrestling mask too.
A mask.
Like a luchador?
Mask. Yeah. And I'm thinking no, maybe just like wrestling tights. Something like that. That's about it. There's a visual. Awesome. You can never get back that 2 seconds I just described that.
Yep. Nope. It's there.
I'm not wearing a mask. Like
no.
I mean, look, you're going. Look at this. You can't cover that up and be
that's true.
Superpower Philberg.
All right, next one. What fictional place would you like to visit or live in?
Bikini Bottom.
You want to live with SpongeBob SquarePants?
Absolutely.
Where would I want to go? It'd be kind of cool to go to the Justice League of America. It'd be kind of cool place to hang out with all the super friends. I'd do that.
Would you show up in your superhero outfit?
Yeah, I sure would.
With his mask on.
That's right. So there's a new superhero in town.
Want to disguise yourself. I mean, if I'm a superhero, they're going to know who I am when they see me.
Well, I mean, if you think about Batman and Spider-Man, Robin, they've all got masks on. They have to have a secret identity.
I guess. The mankini says it all for a mask,
All right. Next question.
This is not an appropriate question to ask next, if that's where we're ending that. Okay. What's your favorite word and your least favorite word? Dun, dun, dun. Stumped you.
Favorite word.
I probably can't say it on a podcast.
I can't say it on this show.
Yeah. It's a bomb for sure. I like to bring in like a whole like a bomber or a semi load of the bad bombs.
Yeah, my favorite words cannot be spoken on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't think.
But would they be appropriate for the Joe Rogan podcast?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Absolutely. We'd fit right in with Joe Rogan, no doubt about it. Least favorite word?
Imagined.
Least favorite word, maybe it's like 2 words. I can't. Or you can't. I don't like to hear that. I mean, why even put the challenge out there?
Least favorite word. Least favorite word. I don't know. I don't have one. I don't have a least favorite word.
It's gotta be like closing date of season.
Tag soup.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll give you that. Who's your favorite god from ancient history?
Favorite god.
I don't even.
That was a long time ago that I studied that. That's not even fair. Can I Google it?
Let's do this. What's your favorite Marvel superhero? We'll change it.
It's pretty sad that like I can answer that question, but I can't answer the Roman god.
I'm out on both of them because I really don't have.
Is the Green Lantern a Marvel superhero?
I think he's DC.
Is he DC?
I think because he's not part of the Avengers. He's part of the Justice League, and Justice League was DC.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even have an answer for that because really, Laura, I don't know. I mean, if it's what tire size is on my tractor, it's 38-inch rim. I can tell you that, but I don't know if it's
right. Yeah, I mean, I watched some of these movies with my kids. Nothing's really popping in my head.
My wife said My wife says Dusty's favorite god is Cupid.
Cupid. Marvel. Give me some Marvel.
You got Thor, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, the whole Avengers team.
I do like Thor an awful lot. Yeah, Thor would be pretty cool.
I really like Thor.
Yeah, I'd go with Thor.
Yeah, I wish I could help you out there, but I don't know anything about that.
That's okay. We'll just keep you in your Speedo, your camo Speedo, or mankini, and you're good to go.
Absolutely.
You're your own superhero. You're good.
All right.
Last question. Who has impressed you the most with what they have accomplished?
Man, why those multiples?
Yeah, it's like different categories. Like,
wow, that's a tough one.
Honestly, I didn't think this one would stump you guys as much as it has.
Like I look at some of the deer hunters that we've gotten to know, and I think I always look at the Benoits. I think what they do is pretty amazing, considering where they're hunting. When it comes to just life in general, like if you look at, I guess that person that you're like, wow, that person's really accomplished a lot. I can't believe they did all that. Nobody's really coming to mind, though. That's the weird part.
Man, that's crazy. That it's not really stumped me, but I've got like 80 names in my mind right now that has accomplished a lot and really brought herself
right. I mean, there's so many people I have respect for that I could say, but I'd hate to leave somebody out because I think other people are just as deserving as the first guy or gal.
So it's kind of like an award show where if you were to you couldn't give off one name, you just have to rattle off a whole list.
I'd have to give a whole bunch. Really?
Yeah, I'm going with Jay on that one too, because man, I mean, you see people that just man, you see them 5 years ago to what they are now. It's like wow, just it's crazy. I mean, there's a lot of people that's been successful and accomplished a lot with nothing. That's what's amazing. Not just the outdoor industry, but people that's involved with the outdoor industry, and you know, um, family. You see family do the same thing, and it's hard not to mention everybody's name. And that's a tough question. Give us one more, Laura. That's a tough one.
Okay, this one's fun, and it will totally date everyone here, including myself. Did you ever have a MySpace account?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
For about, I'd say for about 3 months. And then I think I just bailed on it. So this is kind of complicated.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I probably had one for a year or better.
What about you, Laura?
I did. I actually had a couple different platform ones. So I had I had Facebook, I had MySpace. There was another room that was called Snowboard. I had the whole instant messenger side of everything. I mean, I was on it. I had an account for everything, but that was because everything was coming out right when I was, early teens. So it was like, hey, yeah, no, get this. Oh, hey, yeah, no, get that. So it was better jump on board and get it while you can. So, yes, I had them all.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with my wife. I'm just backing up one question where we got kind of stumped on success, and she said, "Look at each other," and that's true with Jay. Not to put it all on the table, but when Jay first started, he wasn't able to physically call somebody and say, "Hey, join us on a podcast." And that's speaking the truth, and there's so much has changed there. And as far as technical side of things, he's advanced, and I mean, he's our backbone. In the beginning, it was like, man, I don't know about this cat, but he opened up, and he's willing to learn. And I talk to everybody. It's just something I do, and I've got that capability, and always have, and probably never lose it. But in the beginning, it was tough for me to talk with Jay about different things because he didn't, I don't know if he didn't know, but he wasn't aggressive about it like I am. I mean, I just, it doesn't bother me I can take no. No's okay. Leave me alone. Don't bother me. I don't want to be on a show. That's okay with me. Just, I'll just go on to the next person. But I think in the beginning, Jay was, he's changed and definitely advanced and become successful with what he's doing, and people listen to him, and I'm sure that he thinks the same way for me. But it's just amazing how the success and the capability of the performance that he's at now, and it's really cool to watch him progress. It was amazing. At one time, I was like, "Wow, he's so different than me," and it was all just it was crazy how it all just worked out, though.
It's because I was older and better looking. Is that what it was?
Whatever it was. Older and better looking. That's it. I mean, you nailed that. You hit the nail.
Dusty's taught me a lot about how to be a little more open socially. He's our social butterfly. I'm still working on it, but that was a part of my persona I wanted to work on, and the podcast was going to help me get there. But Dusty has this natural knack of just making friends quickly in any environment, no matter where he goes. It's not so much me. I'm more of an introvert. I like to kind of stick back and observe and not engage. Dusty is an engager. Yeah.
You got.
What's that?
Go ahead. Finish up what you're going to say.
Yeah. We stopped. We made a quick stop at a brewery here in town, and I think I had just turned around to give him his first trial beer, and he had already gathered a group around the table and was telling everybody about the podcast. I couldn't do that in a million years, but it's just natural for him. So it's a good blend. It's a good blend of extrovert and introvert.
There for the longest time, and I still do mess around with him. I called him Dry Toast. And that, this is always just a joke or whatever. And our friend Greg agrees with it, and he jumped aboard for a little bit there. And, because Jay's pretty dry. That's just his nature. And all winter long, he sits and drinks whiskeys in his house and don't see nobody else because the snow's so deep you can't even move there.
Dusty likes my front window where there's so much snow that builds up you can't see out the window.
I'm like, send me a kitchen window pitch.
Yeah.
Send me a kitchen window pick. And he's like, oh, whatever, man.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing how things have progressed. And, Jay, I'm proud of him for where he's at, as far as his socializing skills. And it's so much advanced. If you don't understand, go listen to the first few shows. You'll hear it.
Yeah, and I think that's, even just in like a social setting, that's something I've been working on my whole life. But being able to have a radio show and have a conversation with somebody and make it sound decent enough where you actually don't feel uncomfortable listening to it, that takes time. That's something you develop every single show. And yeah, I know the first ones weren't good, but I can't make one that's decent until I get through the ones that are bad. That's the way it goes.
I feel the same way. Having those first ones, it's like, yeah, these are horrid. Absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally start breaking into some, and I'm like, okay, maybe that one wasn't so bad. Okay, these ones are starting to sound better. This sounds more like a conversation. This is how things are finally starting to move, and then it's just become a lot easier. And I could walk up to somebody and be like, hey, what's up? But like after that, a lot of the times it has to be geared towards what they say next, and that's been fun to learn through a podcasting side.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough to be the content creator when you're face to face with somebody. A lot of people struggle with that, and that's all right. But you got to get over that. You got to get over that hump and be able to just carry on conversation. And 90% of the time when you're talking to somebody, for one reason or another, you related to them, you wouldn't even be talking to them if you didn't.
Yeah, I am definitely a different person today than I was when I started this 4 years ago.
Oh, unbelievable.
Right. My personality is not that it wasn't there somewhere, but it's come out. Now I can pop a conversation with a stranger just walking down the street and find something interesting to talk about. That's the best part. It can be somebody you don't know from a hole in the wall, and you'll find something interesting to discuss.
So last question for you guys then, in looking at our younger generations, what do you think is something that we can do to help encourage the younger generations to get into the outdoors and become more involved?
You want to answer that one, or?
Yeah, I think the part of the goal of this whole podcast thing is to get into a medium where younger folks are hanging out. That you won't find a young person that doesn't have some kind of mobile device right now. And the kids that are coming up through now that don't have privy to a phone or a mobile device, they want them. So everybody's going to have some kind of mobile device. So I think a podcast is a place where you can actually encourage kids to get into the field through a mechanism that they're familiar with. So hopefully, this podcast thing gives them some inspiration to say, hey, that sounds really cool. I'd like to try that. That's kind of, I think at the very base root of this, that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish.
I think a comment is that come in says put the phones down, actually interact with people. Seth commented that, and I can agree to that in a certain aspect, but the phones are new modern technology, and that's the future, and whether we like it or not, the internet, social media, that's the new way. Definitely having the capability of interacting with people that way advances us on education. There's more education available about habitat conservation, how to grow certain crops to help out with your deer herd and stuff like that. So the next generation, if they can pick up on something that not just a podcast, but social media and if you got a question, you can Google anything. So I think that kids are learning from that and are able to advance their knowledge of the outdoors. And if you can't take time out of your season to get the youth out and hunt, uh, that's something that you're overseeing the purpose of why you're hunting. You got to make time and take time to take a youth outdoors and introduce them. If not, it's going to be something of the past. The next generation's not gonna get out there and hunt. The Xbox, PlayStation is going to override the shotgun and the deer and the turkey. So you got to get them out there and get them to experience that hands on. Maybe it's just shooting some clay birds or just being at a shooting club with the guys hanging out, and you gotta do that with them. You got to make the time to take the youth outdoors. If we're not. It's not going to progress. It's going to be a thing of the past. Disease is going to be on the rise with the animals that are not being harvested. That's everybody says, "Oh, I'm anti-hunting. I don't like hunting. I don't like hunting." Without hunters, we're in a real bad way as far as disease and population of animals, and we'd be overrun. You couldn't drive down the road without whacking deer if we wasn't able to hunt them. Same with turkey. You'd have a turkey through your windshield if every time you drove down the road if we wasn't able to thin the herd out. If you don't think it's a problem, diseases, if the herd's too big, you're crazy. No different if you put humans in a camp and they're all drinking out of the same 5-gallon bucket. It doesn't work. So hunters, we need to be able to educate the youth and get them out there and show them the way, and obviously safety first, and then get into the more details as far as conservation and how to clean up. I'm not just a hunter, but if I go to the woods and somebody's throw trash out all down along the front of the woods where I'm hunting, I try to pick it up. I go from a hunter to a trash guy to somebody goes in and cuts down some native weeds that are invasive and taking over a place. And you got to do it all. You can't just go in there and kill animals. There's more to a hunter than a lot of people see.
Well, guys, those are some awesome and inspiring words. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to come on with me today. And I'm really excited to see what next year holds. I mean, I told you guys before, I can't wait to see the preparation that's coming for this next year and everything that you guys have planned and all the fun stuff. Thanks to everybody who commented or, was able to interact with us, and can't wait to see you guys on the other side.
Very cool. Thanks for having us on, Laura. We appreciate it.
You have to end it, Jay.
Yep. Pushing the button.
Okay.